Okay, I'm here today with Nemesis versus Pericle because these are both like kind of co-op games that you can play together, and you can also play this as a single player, which is pretty cool. So they are a little bit different, but the I think the price range is about the same, but they're also like these cool co-op games that you can do. So I want to show you how these games work just a little bit and what the differences are. So let me take you to the boards here. So you have Nemesis right over here, and then a Pericle right over here. Now the premise is really different, but with both of these you can play against the board, but the way they go about this is completely different. So Nemesis is all about like this randomized game, and you have these tiles right over here. Let me show them for different rooms, and you put them in random order on these places. So every game will have different rooms in there, and every room does something else. So you have like the storage room, the armory where you can get some ammo, the generator, emergency room where you can heal, that sort of thing. And it has very cool miniatures here. I think they are 3D printed, but done very nicely. So it's you against these different classes of aliens. So that's pretty nice. And then you also have your characters, which are also 3D printed. A very large manual because it takes a little bit of getting used to. And then all of these markers and that sort of thing. And then different cards where different things happen. So this game is played against the board, and the board isn't really like a player, but it's just random things happening by chance because of a die roll, because of a card that you draw. So an entity, an alien could appear like in a room. If you're in the room next to it, you could roll a die, and then if you make some sound or not, and that way the aliens start moving and attacking you, or they could randomly pop up in your room. So that's the way the board here moves. The enemy moves by itself. It's just these random acts of well, events happening. So it's not really a smart board, which is why I'll get into Pericle in a minute. It's not really a smart board. It's just things happening and reacting to each other, which well, is why the gameplay is often very cool, but you could also die like right at the start of it, and then, well, you can watch the others play. But that's also why you can play this with one person. Then you have Pericle, which you can also play with one person, which is because you have the board and the narrative on your phone or your iPad or whatever device you want to use for this, your computer. I think the iPad works best, or a tablet. It's the right size for like the screen for you to read and to see all of the artwork, which is also pretty cool. And then here you have these acrylic stands. It shows for acrylic stands, so the level of detail in the artwork is really cool, but it's just like a piece of plastic. So that's like a different way of spending the money. I think more on like the app and the narrative there and the storytelling, than on the characters themselves, although they look really cool. So this is like a big ogre you encounter in the first part of the game here. And the way this works is you have like these different campaigns that you need to go through, and the app knows where you are based on your input. So it doesn't really scan the board or anything, but if this troll is here and you're standing over here, then you input that into the app, and then the app decides what the troll does. So for each of these monsters, you just input where you are at the moment, and you input what your die roll was. So the game keeps track of the of your health and of their health, and then what the ogre will do. So if his health is really low, he might run away. If one character here with high health is standing really close, then it might hit him, or it might choose to move towards a character with a little lower health, or it might really hate mages and move toward that character to hit that character. So it's a little bit smarter here, but still, it's not AI, it's still rule-based within the app. So it's not smart AI or anything, but the board in this case really decides what it wants to do based on where everyone is and the input. So it's a lot different here than Nemesis, where the board moves based on chance. So that's, I think this works well. However, you do need to love like narrative games. This is a new type of game style. I think it's been around for a while now with all of our smart devices. There are different types of games that you can do. Some are just an app with a story that they're telling, but this game really integrates that app storytelling and then choosing what the monster does. So it's a little bit more advanced than most, I think. So that's pretty cool. But you do need to listen to the story as it progresses, which can sometimes be like a little slow and a little annoying. I think, but that's just me. I don't think I'd buy a narrative game just if the app is just saying like the story. I just want to get into the game, if you know what I mean. Not all will have that, but that's just me. With this, it's bearable for someone like me. Because the app integrates so much cool stuff in there. And then you have like these different maps that you need to go to. This is like map 5, and then the app will tell you which map to set up, which monsters will be there, and your heroes can progress. Now with this game you can choose out of some different characters. You have like the character boards over here. Let me see if I can find those. Yeah, so something like this. You have these different characters, and they all have different types of cards, action cards that they can do, but they're fixed characters. And this is really more like advanced Dungeons and Dragons, where you create your character. You can start with one of the basic character sets that they have. Let me see where I have that. There's a rule book, which is also really, really large. The hero handbook. So this is how you can create your hero. You have different envelopes that you need to open at certain parts of the game. And this is like a quick sheet of what to do if embattled, if you're embattled. And then this is like a pre-made character, Bearwin, a wizard. So you can choose, if you're really starting out with a game like this, you can choose one of the pre-made characters. And then this is where you can add your character points and get better in certain things, and that will help with your die roll. You can wear armor, that sort of thing. That will help with your die roll as well, with defending and how much damage you get from monsters. So this is like maybe a watered down version of the complete advanced Dungeons and Dragons, but integrated with an app. So if you always wanted to get into a game like this, into Dungeons and Dragons, but you just want a little bit of help, this is your Dungeon Master. So you don't need a separate Dungeon Master. You can play alone, completely alone. You can play with like 2 players and then have this as the Dungeon Master, instead of having one Dungeon Master and then a team of people to start playing advanced Dungeons and Dragons. So this is a way of getting into that game, even if you don't have a large play group. So I think that's cool as well. I think the replayability of this is a bit lower than Nemesis. So if you've gone through all the campaigns, you can of course start over and then create like your own character group, but the missions will remain quite the same. So you will encounter the same enemies at the same time on the same type of game board. You can of course try different tactics, but I think the replayability is a little bit lower here than with Nemesis. I think we've had more game sessions with Nemesis than with Pericle. So these are the differences here in how you can play like a co-op game or a semi-co-op game, because you still need to win separately here, even though you can work together to, well, survive the aliens. You all have your own objectives. So this is more like semi-co-op, and this is a true full co-op. So I hope this video has helped you to, well, make your choice between these and if this is something for you.